Gene always said, "I don't think about legacy. I just hope people remember me as someone who tried to do good work." You'll be remembered for that, and for so much more. Rest in peace, my friend Gene Hackman was more than just an actor. He was a Hollywood icon, a star capable of turning any character into a legend. When news of his passing spread, Hollywood was not only mourning but also in shock. A screen legend had departed this world, alongside his wife Betsy Arakawa, under mysterious circumstances. But what left the public even more stunned was not just the loss itself, but the accounts from those closest to Hackman. This isn't as simple as people think a close source revealed. There are things about Gene Hackman that the public never knew. What happened in that house might make us all reconsider how we view his final days. These cryptic remarks only fueled a wave of questions. What really happened in Gene Hackman's last moments? Was this a natural passing, or are there secrets Hollywood isn't ready to face? Attributes poured in. The sense of bewilderment remained. Clint Eastwood, a longtime friend of Hackman, simply stated, "There was no greater actor than Gan, but this is just too baffling." Gene Hackman's passing doesn't just mark the end of a golden era in cinema, it leaves behind countless unanswered questions. But before delving into the mysteries surrounding his death, let's take a look at Hollywood's and the film industry's reactions to this shocking event as news of Gene Hackman's death, along with his wife Betsy Arakawa, spread. Hollywood was not only in mourning, but also gripped by an indescribable sense of unease. A cinematic legend with a storied career, a man who had stood in the spotlight for over half a century, had now departed quietly without a single farewell. At the 97th Academy Awards, Morgan Freeman's voice trembled as he mentioned Hackman during the In Memoriam segment. "Our community has lost a giant, and I have lost a dear friend." Applause filled the room in tribute, but everyone understood that no words could truly capture the magnitude of Hackman, a performer who always placed his characters above himself, transforming each role into a piece of cinematic history. Clint Eastwood, who had collaborated with Hackman on the masterpiece Unforgiven, spoke of him with the utmost respect. "There was no actor greater than Gan. He had the instincts of a genius, never a false moment in his performances. I will miss him dearly." Francis Ford Coppola, the director of The Conversation, described Hackman as an actor you encounter once in a lifetime, someone who could make you believe in any character he became. Yet beneath these tributes, a lingering unease remained. Hackman had withdrawn from Hollywood in 2004, disappearing almost entirely from public life, choosing a quiet existence in New Mexico, had declined all interviews, never returning to the screen, not even for a cameo. When news of his passing was confirmed, many began to wonder, had Gene Hackman always known that this would be the way? He left this world silently without fanfare, just as he had vanished from Hollywood 2 decades earlier. Tom Hanks called Hackman a true gem of American cinema. Glenn Close admitted, "I've never seen anyone act the way he did." There was something about Gene that pulled you in, as if he was always hiding a part of his soul on screen. Meanwhile, film critic Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian declared, "Hackman's passing marks the end of one of the greatest eras in American cinema. He wasn't just a phenomenal actor, he brought a depth and authenticity to his roles that was unparalleled." This loss is not merely the end of a life, it is the closing of an era. But grief is not the only sentiment lingering in the air, as details surrounding Hackman's death slowly begin to surface. The sorrow is gradually giving way to unanswered questions. Gene Hackman's passing has not only left Hollywood in mourning, but has also raised a series of unanswered questions. While many believed he had chosen a peaceful life away from the spotlight, the mysterious circumstances surrounding his and his wife Betsy Arakawa's death left the public unsettled. There were no signs of forced entry, no evidence of violence, yet their bodies were found in separate rooms. Hackman's death was determined to have occurred on February 17th, nearly 9 days before they were discovered. A period so long that it begs the question, why did no one notice? They had disappeared. Hackman's longtime friend, Daniel Lenihan, revealed that in recent months the actor's health had appeared to decline significantly. He had stopped his daily cycling routine, something he had continued even into his 90s. Arakawa, known as a devoted partner, had been doing everything she could to protect him. especially amid ongoing health concerns. But if Hackman had indeed been in deteriorating health, why did no one know? Why did no one check on them sooner? Details from the scene have only deepened the mystery. One of their 3 dogs was found dead near the bathroom, while the other 2 survived. Authorities found no signs of a break-in or any clear indicators of what led to their deaths. Prescription medication was discovered scattered near Arakawa's body, but was this merely a coincidence, or is there something more we don't yet understand? The lack of transparency in the initial reports has fueled speculation. Some believe Hackman may have passed away first, and that Arakawa, overwhelmed with grief, could not endure the loss. Others suspect that a shared health condition may have affected them both simultaneously. On social media, conspiracy theories have spread rapidly, ranging from the possibility of an undisclosed illness to speculation that Hackman may have known his time was coming. But amid all the speculation, one undeniable truth remains: Gene Hackman's death does not just mark the loss of a legend. It leaves behind a profound mystery yet to be solved as questions continue to mount. Authorities remain at work to uncover the truth, but is there a revelation that could change how we understand Gene Hackman's final days? And more importantly, will that truth ever be revealed, as rumors surrounding the mysterious passing of Gene Hackman continued to swirl? Official reports from the investigation have only raised more questions. On February 26, 2025, a maintenance worker from the residential community where Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa lived grew concerned after being unable to contact them. A sense of unease crept in as he peered through a window and discovered Hackman's lifeless body lying motionless. In the entryway, authorities were immediately called to the scene. Upon entering the house, they found a second body, Betsy Arakawa, lying in the bathroom. The home was eerily quiet, with no signs of struggle or violence. However, one notable detail was found near Arakawa's body. Several prescription medications, including those for high blood pressure and thyroid issues, pills were scattered on the table like missing pieces of an incomplete puzzle. No one knows exactly how they passed, but one thing is certain: they had been there for days unnoticed by anyone shortly after the bodies of Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa were discovered. The Santa Fe County Police swiftly launched an investigation to determine the cause of their deaths. The scene showed no signs of forced entry or any form of disturbance. The household remained intact with no evidence of violence or struggle. A preliminary forensic report confirmed that neither Hackman nor Arakawa had any external injuries, nor were there signs of assault or the use of force. This led authorities to rule out the possibility of foul play. One of the initial theories considered by investigators was carbon monoxide poisoning, a common cause of sudden deaths in enclosed spaces. Fire department officials conducted a thorough inspection of the home to check for any leaks from the heating system. However, results showed no traces of carbon monoxide in the air or in the toxicology samples from Hackman and Arakawa. This only deepened the mystery. If no external factors were involved, what had truly happened inside that house? A breakthrough in the investigation came from data retrieved from Gene Hackman's pacemaker analysis revealed that his heart had stopped beating on February 17th, nearly 9 days before his body was discovered. This confirmed that Hackman had been deceased for several days before the maintenance worker raised the alarm. But a more pressing question emerged. What had happened to Betsy Arakawa in the days that followed? If Hackman had passed away on February 17th, why had no one noticed anything unusual? And more importantly, why had Arakawa not called for emergency services or sought help? One theory suggests that Arakawa may have experienced a severe health crisis following her husband's death. She could have suffered from exhaustion, psychological shock, or a sudden medical complication that left her unable to act. At the scene, investigators found several prescription medications near her body, including those for high blood pressure and thyroid issues. However, there was no clear evidence of an overdose or any accidental misuse of medication. Another puzzling detail at the scene further fueled speculation. Inside the home, officers discovered that one of the couple's 3 dogs had also died, while the other 2 remained alive. This raised a series of questions. Was there something in their living environment that had impacted their health, or was the dog's death merely an unrelated coincidence? With all the collected evidence, authorities have expanded the investigation, exploring factors ranging from underlying medical conditions to potential environmental hazards. But one thing remains certain. The passing of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa is not just a tragic loss, it is a lingering mystery that has yet to be fully explained. Gene Hackman did not just leave behind a legendary career, he was a man of decisive choices. Living each phase of his life to the fullest, as news of his and his wife Betsy Arakawa's mysterious deaths spread, many recalled that Hackman had disappeared from Hollywood in 2004, a rare decision for a star of his stature. Gene Hackman was not just an actor. He was a cinematic icon, a man who breathed life and depth into every character he portrayed. With a career spanning over 50 years, Hackman left an indelible mark on Hollywood, history delivering performances that ranged from gritty and intense to truly iconic in some of the most celebrated films of all time. Born on January 30th, 1930 in San Bernardino, California, Gene Hackman did not have an easy start. His parents divorced when he was young, and he spent most of his childhood living with his mother. At just 16, he joined the United States Marine Corps, but after leaving the service, he struggled with odd jobs before deciding to pursue his passion for acting. He enrolled at the Pasadena Playhouse, where he met Dustin Hoffman, another aspiring actor. Both were initially dismissed, even labeled as lacking the talent to become professionals. But Hackman was undeterred. He moved to New York, performing in small theater productions, slowly making a name for himself. Hackman's breakthrough came in 1967 with his role as Buck Barrow in Bonnie and Clyde. The film was a massive success, earning him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. From that moment, his career took off, but it was in 1971 that Hackman truly ascended to Hollywood's A-list. His role as Detective Jimmy "Popey" Doyle in The French Connection not only won him his first Oscar, but also set a new standard for tough, unrelenting police characters in cinema. The film's gripping chase sequences and Hackman's raw performance cemented The French Connection as one of the greatest crime films of all time. Hackman continued to prove his range in the years that followed. He played a haunted surveillance expert in Francis Ford Coppola's The Conversation, 1974, a film rich in psychological tension and moral dilemmas. He also took on the role of Lex Luthor in Superman, 1978, bringing a mix of intelligence, menace, and humor to one of cinema's most memorable villains. The 1980s and 1990 saw Hackman remain at the top of his game. He won his second Academy Award for Unforgiven, 1992, Clint Eastwood's legendary Western, where he played Little Bill Daggett, a ruthless yet complex sheriff who left a lasting impression on audiences. He also starred in critically acclaimed films such as Mississippi Burning, 1988 The Firm, 1993 Crimson Tide, 1995 An Enemy of the State, 1998 Entering the 21st Century. Hackman continued to deliver standout performances, particularly in The Royal Tenenbaums 2001, where he played a deeply flawed yet captivating patriarch. Hackman experienced 2 marriages in his lifetime. He married Faze in 1956, and they had 3 children, Christopher, Elizabeth, and Leslie Hackman. Their nearly 3-decade-long marriage ended in divorce. In 1986, he later met Betsy Arakawa, a pianist, and they married. In 1991, this marked a turning point in his life as he gradually stepped away from Hollywood to embrace a quieter existence. In New Mexico, Betsy remained by his side. In his later years away from the spotlight, enjoying a simple life together. In 2004, Hackman announced his retirement, closing the chapter on an illustrious career that spanned over 80 films. He devoted his time to a newfound passion: writing. He co-authored several historical and adventure novels, an aspect of his life that many were unaware of. In his later years, he maintained a routine of daily cycling, embracing nature and steering clear of Hollywood's chaos. Now that he is gone, the world is only beginning to grasp the full extent of his legacy. Hackman did not just leave behind unforgettable films, he left behind an extraordinary life story. From a childhood marked by abandonment through years of struggle to becoming one of the greatest actors in cinematic history, his journey was nothing short of remarkable. And while the circumstances of his death remain shrouded in mystery, one undeniable truth stands: Gene Hackman lived a life worthy of admiration. Gene Hackman left this world as quietly as he left Hollywood 2 decades ago. Yet, though he is no longer present, more than legacy just an actor, will live on forever. He was an icon, a figure. His iconic roles on cinematic history to the remains indelible. Colleagues. However, as the curtain falls on his life, the stories behind the scenes are far from over. What is truly surprising is the complete silence from Hackman's 3 children from his first marriage, Christopher, Elizabeth, and Leslie Hackman, following his death. No statements, no tributes, not even a single public acknowledgement of their father's passing. While Hollywood and the rest of the world mourn his loss, their silence cuts through the sorrow like a blade, raising countless questions. Were there fractures within the Hackman family that the public never knew about, or are they simply waiting for the right moment to speak? The situation becomes even more complex when the issue of inheritance is brought into question. With a career spanning over 50 years, Hackman amassed a significant fortune, including real estate, film royalties, and personal investments. Yet no details about his will have been made public. Will his entire estate go to Betsy Arakawa, who passed away alongside him, or will legal disputes emerge between his children and his wife's family? Some sources suggest that underlying tensions may have existed for years, and Hackman's death could be the catalyst that brings these conflicts to the surface. A legend has passed, but the mystery surrounding him is only beginning to unfold. If the true cause behind Hackman and his wife's deaths remains unclear, then the story of his legacy is now entering a new chapter, one that may no longer be about Hollywood glamour, but a battle filled with controversy among those he left behind. Is his children's silence the calm before the storm, or are they genuinely choosing to preserve privacy for a father who spent his life avoiding unnecessary attention? The answers may soon be revealed, proving that the story of Gene Hackman is far from over. What do you think about the mysterious passing of Gene Hackman? Is this merely an unfortunate coincidence? Or are there hidden truths yet to be uncovered? Does the silence of Hackman's children make you question the family dynamics he left behind? And with the issue of his inheritance still unresolved, could a legal battle be on the horizon? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe all the mysteries surrounding Gene Hackman will eventually be unraveled? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to stay updated on this unfolding story and to explore more behind-the-scenes revelations about Hollywood legends.